I clearly remember the first time I walked into my corporate office. It was a chilly day in Wisconsin, and I walked through these glass doors and I saw these beautiful red walls. And on each one of the walls were painted things like being candid, speed, agility, urgency, consistent improvement, missions and visions of the organization, and who we wanted to be when we grew up. Over the last 8 years, I've spent a lot of time in this company, and time building strategies and plans, and doing things locally and nationally. And over that time, I've asked myself this question: why do people spend thousands and thousands of hours building out a strategy in the workplace and are not nearly as intentional with their personal lives and everything else? Now, if I were to ask you what is most important in your world, what would you say?
Personal lives.
Family, friends, all these other things that we don't use the same intention as we actually do in our work. So today I'm really excited to talk to you about managing your life like a business and having the same intention with your entire world as you do from 9 to 5 when you punch the clock. To give you an idea of my background, I manage a team in Southern California. We sell power tools to big contractors who build buildings in Los Angeles. And we do annual reviews every year. And recently, over the last few years, we've gone to Huntington Beach. And we spend 30 minutes discussing the year and the past and kind of where we've done and what we've accomplished. But the biggest part of the conversations are where we're going. So we spend 60 minutes when we walk the pier in Huntington Beach. And I realized in these moments that life is complex. And the things that we do in the morning, from showering to taking the kids to school, to going to work, to coming home to having dinner, to the things that you love to do and your passions, there's a lot going on. How do you ensure that you're actually getting what you want out of the life that you live and not living like a shotgun approach? So I was sitting under the pier with a friend of mine named Dan Kaiser, and we sat down and we mapped out everything that we did and the things that we love to do. For me, it's church on Sunday with my wife. We go to Mariners Church in Irvine where we got married. Like, that's a great way for us to bond and get together. I love to play golf. I played golf at the University of Nevada. Like, that's been a passion of mine since I was a kid. I enjoy reading and exercising, and playing with my 2-year-old son is one of the things that I enjoy most about my entire life. But I was at a point in my life to where I looked in the mirror and I wasn't having the happiness and fulfillment that I was looking for. And I absolutely had to understand why, which is why I mapped all of these things out. So what I realized was that there was a massive disproportion in the time that I was spending in work. I've got 112 hours in the week if I sleep 8 hours a day. Why was I averaging 12 hours a day on an area that was least important to me when I looked at my overall priorities? So I took this complexity, I boiled it down into 5 things that I cared most about. And I vowed that everything that I did would live within these 5 things that were core to me in what I wanted to do and who I wanted to be. And I found things like spirituality and self and family and health and fitness. And work was there because I need to work, because I enjoy it, but it also fills everything else that I really love and I'm really passionate about. So I took a look in the mirror and I realized that I gained 30 pounds. Relationship with my wife and my kids was not where I wanted it to be. And I didn't have that feeling of excitement when I got out of bed in the morning. So I had to make some significant changes. So what I did is I took, at the beginning of the year, I made some goals like many of us do. And I vowed that, again, those 5 buckets would be my world, and it's caused some big changes. So now, when I'm traveling for work, I do a lot, and I have to invest there because it's what I do, it's what pays the bills. But when I'm home, every single day in the evening, you'll see me on the lawn with my son, playing soccer and baseball and teaching him to play golf, even though he's a little kid. Like, those are the most important moments in my life. And I do not want to let those go, so I have to be intentional about that. It's the reason why I'm here practicing public speaking with you. I've had this on my agenda for years, and I've never found the time and prioritized it because I was doing things that didn't matter because I felt they were urgent and I wasn't thinking long term. I've also signed up for a marathon, which is a long-term thing for health and fitness to hopefully burn off those 30 pounds that I put on. That's the eventual goal. And date night with my wife on Friday is something that I absolutely never miss because that is critical to our relationship and critical to my entire life overall. So what I did is I wanted to remind myself of these things. Similar to when I walked into my corporate office for the first time and saw the strategy of my organization and the missions and the visions and the goals and all these things that we spent thousands of hours thinking about, I built the same thing for my life. And that was to live a fulfilled life, focusing on the things that I care most about: spirituality, family, self, and making sure that I put others first rather than myself first or work first and the things that I wasn't prioritizing. I've got some very clear strategies on the path to reach that vision and goals that make sure that I'm tracking towards exactly where I want to be. For you, I have a challenge for you. I'm sure many of you live your life with that absolute intention that you want. And you'll get to the points where you're excited and you're fulfilled and you found this meaning. For those of you that might not be there, I challenge you to manage your life the same way you manage your business and live with that same level of thought and intention. It's absolutely critical to where we want to be. We've all been asked the question, or we will be asked the question, from our kids or our grandkids or our friends and family: what regrets do you have in life? And I firmly believe that the regrets come from a lack of thought and a lack of direction. So I hope that you manage your life like a business, and when that question comes up, you can very confidently say you've done what you wanted to do, you found fulfillment and overall happiness. Your Toastmaster.
Wow.